Welcome to the next podcast of Millinery.Info. I'm your host, Lauren Ritchie, and it's so wonderful to welcome you to this episode of Millinery.Info. In this series, we welcome leading milliners from across the globe into our ears and studio. Today, it's so wonderful to welcome Ellen Thommessen to the studio. She talks about her career in theatrical millinery, how she began in a costume course, training in London, and then finding her way back home, and a long-standing career in the local theatre industry. Thank you so much to our Patreon podcast sponsors for their support. Hat Talk, Barcelona Hat Days, The Hat Magazine, Millinery Australia, Louise McDonald Milliner, Lifted Millinery, Hats by Leco, Judith M. Millinery Supply House, Hatters Millinery Supplies, Hat Academy, Hat Blocks Australia, the Milliner Retreat School of Millinery, and Jennifer Hertz Millinery. You can find a link to each of these businesses in the show notes. That's either on your podcast app or across on the Millinery.Info website. A special thank you to Hat Talk and Hat Academy, who also include this podcast on their platforms as well. If you've been enjoying listening to today's episode or the series across the whole time we've been running, I invite you to head across to our Patreon page. Thank you so much to those who have recently signed up. For a small thank you to Millinery.Info and Millinery.Info, you inspire me. It's so wonderful to have your support. I hope you enjoyed this episode with Ellen. Thank you so much, Ellen, for joining me on today's podcast. It's wonderful to have you here on this episode with us.
Thank you so much for asking me. It's wonderful. I really love your podcast. So thank you so much.
My absolute pleasure. Could you share with us, how did your millinery career begin?
I have to go back to when I was a little girl because I really loved to wear hats. We have so many photos of me wearing hats, large hats. And I also come from a family with a mom who made our clothes. She was sewing a lot. My dad was doing carpentry. He was an engineer and he was building a cottage by the sea, and I followed him a lot doing that. I had two grandmothers who taught me to knit and to crochet. So it was really, I was taught to use my hands from an early stage. And during my time at school, I also had really good teachers in craft. So, and I loved it. That was the start. And yeah, all these photos of me with hats. I have one photo that I'm smiling from ear to ear with a large pink, bright pink and blue hat.
Oh, wow.
That I think I'm 8 years old. And it was a hat that I found on the island by our cottage. It was just one store on that island, and they had everything. They had everything from milk, like a grocery store, and to hats.
Oh, wow.
So they had summer hats hanging in the ceiling, and I saw this wonderful hat that was pink and turquoise. And I asked my parents to get it, and they said, no, you can't get it. It's too, well, I think it was, they didn't want me to have it. It was maybe expensive, I don't know. But then my grandfather came visiting, and I said, do you want to go with me to the shop? And he said, of course. And I've heard this story so many times when I was walking hand in hand with my grandfather with this really huge hat. And I was so happy. So, yeah, and once we had one travel abroad when I was 10 years old to Mallorca. And then I bought also a huge sombrero. It was larger than me. And so I've always liked hats. And I've always liked theater as well. So quite early, I found out that I could combine these two interests. So I started, after 12 years at school, I started doing a sewing. I started a sewing class. Well, in Norway we have these degrees. You go in crafts, you can go 3 years to learn, and then you have this journeyman's letter. So I started, I started doing sewing. And I was thinking of becoming a costume maker then. But after 2 years, I was thinking maybe I have to try it out. So I got a job at the opera for half a year and in the theater for half a year, and I really loved it. So I continued and took my degree after 3 years. And while I was in this theater, they gave me lots of tasks. I got to make hats already then. I was new, I was young, and I was a bit insecure. And when they gave me a task to sew anything, I asked, "How do I do it?" And they said, "Just create something."
Oh wow!
And so I learned how to find my way. They helped me, but I had to create myself, and that was a really good thing. But after those 3 years with so after 3 years with this sewing education, they had started a new education in Norway who was called costume maker, and that was an apprenticeship at the opera and the broadcasting company. So I was lucky to get in. We were 6 girls or young, well, we were 6 girls starting on this education. That was wonderful too. And we learned also to make hats.
Cool.
And from all historical times, and we made clothes for men, women, children, and yeah, it was a really good education.
That's great. Was for the learning of that, were you in a classroom or were you in the workplace in the makers' rooms learning as you were working?
We were in the workrooms most of the time, but then we also had some teachers who taught us different topics, and then we were in a classroom, and we had costume history of costume, and we had pattern cutting, and that was in the classroom.
Yeah,
but most of the time we were in the workroom.
That's fantastic.
At the opera and the TV company. Yeah, it was wonderful. It was.
Was it everything
Yeah.
having I guess dreamed about becoming a costumer and maker? Did it meet what you hoped it would be, or what was different about it?
No, it was great. I learned a lot of both sewing clothes and hats. Just little. We made some hats. We had the classes in hat making, both at the opera and the TV company. So yeah, it was really nice. But after those 3 years, I wanted to learn more about the pattern cutting, so I went to Stockholm for half a year at the Pattern Cutting Academy, and that was also very nice. It was very strict, and yeah, I learned a lot.
Were you just pattern cutting? Were you doing specifically theatrical things, or was it pattern cutting for fashion in clothing in general?
That was general. Yeah, that was fashion. Yes. But I've had already lots of pattern cutting for historical costumes and fantasy costumes and stuff like that. Then after my degree in costume making and the Pattern Cutting Academy in Stockholm, then I had 7 years of sewing experience, but I really wanted to learn more about hats. So I asked a colleague at the opera who I knew she went to uh, Wimbledon College of Fashion, and I asked her if she knew of any person who taught millinery in London, and she had a friend who went to Rose Cory. So I got her name through a friend or a colleague, and I sent her a letter. We had letters then. This was in 1991. So I sent her a letter, and she answered very quickly, and she said that yes, you can come, and but to use your time most beneficially while you're in London, I suggest you write to some milliners so you can try to work in a workroom. So she gave me the address to Frederick Fox, Phillip Somerville, Graham Smith, and John Boyd.
Wow.
And
What a
I
lineup.
wrote to them and asked if I could come to be to have an internship. And it was only Phillip Somerville who answered. And he said, "We don't have anything right now, but we will keep your contact, and you can call us when you're in London."
Cool.
And I did. And they said, "Okay, you can come tomorrow and we can have a talk with you." And when I was there, they said, "Okay, you can come tomorrow. You have to make tea, sweep the floor, do the dishes." And I said, "Yes, of course, that's fine." I was just really happy to get a foot inside the workroom. So, but when I came there, uh, it was a young girl, and she didn't want to leave. She wanted to have those tasks. She wanted to do the dishes, and she didn't want me to do it. And I found out that I was an able sewer. So I was set to work right away, mainly sewing things. It was a wonderful atmosphere there. There were, I think it was maybe 8 or 10 people working there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I could watch all the other milliners working. And there was one person there who was called Micheline. I don't know her surname, but she taught me so much. And she, what do you say, took me under her wings.
Yes.
And she was really strict, and she made me to pick up lots of times. But she taught me so much. I think she started, well, I knew she started after leaving Phillip Somerville. She started working with Philip Tracy. So she had her work there after Phillip Somerville. Yeah, so that was it. It was amazing. We were working on a show that, and we made hats for Harrods, for Diana, and yeah, it was amazing. It was an adventure for me, and I have a. It was in Blenheim Street where it was. It had a showroom in the first floor.
Mhm.
The workroom was on the second floor, and
Yes.
as I remember, it was a stockroom and the office in the
Yeah.
third floor. And one day, Philip called from the third floor down to the second floor and asked for me. And I was really nervous, and I was thinking, "Oh no, I have to leave. Have I done something
Again.
wrong?" But then when I came to him, he said, in his ironic way, he said, he was quite fun, and he said, "Since you're the prettiest, the most pretty one here next after me, can you do some modeling for me?" Okay. And it was because customers came into the office,
Mm.
And then I was in my 1990s outfit with baseball shoes, tights, and a huge shirt with high shoulder pads.
All
And
the
Dylan, who
trends.
was working there, he put on hats on me, and I was walking into the office, turning around, showing the hats, then walked back to Dylan, have another hat on me, and that was a really fun experience. It happened a couple of times, I think.
Oh, wow.
It
What
was fun.
fun.
So that's a nice memory.
Yes. How long were
Yeah.
you with the in the workroom for with Philip?
Just half a year, and I was there 3 days a week, and then I was 3 days a week. I think it was 3 days a week with Rose as well,
Wow.
and that was also amazing. It was she rented this room in a community house that it called Shrewsbury House, and every Thursday she came with her small car full of millinery equipment, and we had to carry it all up in the first floor. It was sewing machines and hat blocks, everything. I think maybe she had a cupboard there, but she had to carry it every week. And then the same on Sunday, we had to carry it down into her car. And that was wonderful. It was, or many people went to Rose's classes, and some went just for a day, some went 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and some did hats just for themselves, some did for friends, for customers, for weddings and races, and some wanted to be milliners,
Yeah.
um, professional milliners like me. She helped me find the way, but I had to design myself all the way,
Yeah.
and I had to ask her find problems that she could help me with, so I could learn as much as possible for the half year that I was there, and I
Yeah.
really learned so much from block making, felt straw. Yeah, it was amazing. She was wonderful. She was such a wonderful. Oh, well, she is, but it was wonderful to learn from her.
Do you remember, is there a particular project that stands out from that time learning from Rose that you just still use today?
Oh yes, everything I do is she really taught me the basic stuff. So everything I learned from her I use. So yeah, she's she gave me the base, I would say.
Yeah, she's with you with every hat.
Yes, absolutely.
What took you away from London? Where did you go next?
Well, I didn't have more money, so I had to go home. Uh, I had to go home, find a job. I would love to stay there for many years, but well, I went back home, and then I asked to have the journeyman's letter in millinery as well. So I was permitted to take it, and so that was good. So I have a degree as a milliner.
It's very cool.
Um, yeah, it is. Um, yeah, and then I tried to find other milliners in Norway to cooperate with, and at that time it was quite what you say. It's people wasn't very interested in discussing millinery. I think it's so different now because now
Yeah.
people teach much more. It's open. You have Instagram. People share, and it wasn't like that then. But I found a very good friend. She became a very good friend, Mona Strand, and she wasn't afraid of the competition. So we we started a really good friendship, and we lent each other materials, discussed different ways of doing things, and we are really, really, really different in the way we make things. So, but it was nice to have a millinery friend because it's there are not many hats in Norway either. But I wanted to work with theater. I mean, that's what I really like.
Yeah.
I've had jobs since then. I've had jobs in theater, on film, at the opera, TV. I worked on the Olympics, on the opening and
Cool.
close ceremonies.
Yeah.
And I've been doing freelance work for different theaters and shows. So I've always worked with theater hats.
Wow.
And when I listened to the podcast with Wies Mudid from the Netherlands, it was so much I could relate to. It was, the designers, the actors, yeah, it's much the same. And when I listen to Bronwyn and Rodney, no,
Yeah.
yeah, in the US, it's so much the same.
So with your costume and theatrical work, have you been working, it's amazing to have been working freelance and with people for so many years. Do you have a role in-house at one of the production companies, or are you working fully freelance?
No, I have I've been employed in the theater that I work now for 28 years, I think. And the last 3 years, I've been head of the costume department. I make the whole outfit, not just the hats. And some plays are without hats at all. They need the clothes before they need the hats. So often we have to make the clothes first, and then I have a short time to make the hats in the end. But sometimes we also have, uh, yeah, much better time to do it, and I can concentrate on the hats. That's very nice.
How many people are in your team?
Well, when I started, we were 11, but now we're just 4. So it's downscaling all the time. But this last year, we went from 8 to 4.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's not good. And I have to do, we all have to do much more. So it's bad times
Yeah.
for theater.
Challenging, yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But I would like to tell about, because I didn't stop learning after those classes and those. Um, so when I turned 50, I got this present from all my friends going to Chateau de Mar with a straw braid class with Jane Smith. And that was amazing. It was wonderful. And then I met Abon and a lot of other fantastic milliners from all over the world. That was really nice. And get to know Jane,
Yeah.
who later came to Norway to have a block making class in styrofoam. And when I went to Rose, that was in 1991,
Yeah.
we didn't use Cinema. So I really wanted to learn how to
Course.
use Cinema.
Yeah.
Uh, I was afraid of cinema. I thought it was so fragile. I was like, how do I use this material? How do I stiffen it? How do you get all these nice, great shapes? So I applied for a grant from the
Oh.
Norwegian Craft Institute, and they gave it to me. And I had some money from the theater and from the union. I got money from 3 different places to go to learn cinema. So I had 2 weeks with Lina Stein in Westport. That
Amazing.
was wonderful. She taught me her way to use cinema, or a lot of different ways to use cinema. And I had 2 weeks with Bridget Bailey. in her studio in London. That was amazing. I don't know if I ever managed to do those wonderful roles again. I'm trying to, but they are perfect. So, but she taught me to do it. And then I had 1 week with Dylan in his studio. So I had
Fantastic.
5 weeks deep diving into cinema. So after that, I feel confident doing cinema works. And I've also held classes myself for
Yeah.
Norwegian costume makers.
Cool.
And I love cinema. It's fun and it's strong. It's not as
Yes.
fragile as I thought it was.
Yeah. Is it a material
So
you
that
have used much, like have used a lot in your theatrical work, or does it not wear well for the type of pieces you need to make?
it's absolutely helpful material in the theatrical millinery because you can use it in you can use like 3 layers making top hat, for example. We had this class with this Sean Barrett showing us how to. He also came to Norway to have a class
Cool.
for costume makers. He used 3 layers of cinema as base for a top
Yeah.
hat. That's very good. And yeah, I've used a lot of cinema in the theater after I learned how to manage it. And I have to tell the actors to be a bit careful because they love to throw the hats around and
Oh
sit on
no.
them. No, yeah, but some actors are really nice. They put the hats on the head after using it. But sometimes we have to do them a little bit stiffer and stronger than a fashion hat. During COVID, I also went, well, then I really learned how to use internet and Teams because then I was going to, I was going to London Hat Week that spring, and it was everything was closed down, but they held the classes online, so it was a really steep learning. Yeah, I learned it the hard way. I had to, but it was wonderful.
That's
So
fantastic.
then I after that I've been. It has been so many nice milliners all over the world that I get to know. Um, and I went to Tracy Chaplin's classes for a long time, also to learn more about cinema and the way she uses it. I went to Marianne Jonkin's class, Ian Bennett. Yeah. I, so COVID had something really good coming. uh, it was, of course, bad for a lot of people, but for me, it was a way to open up to open up to the world.
That's fantastic. And to connect with new people as well. So working in the theatre for so long, you must have made for so many different types of shows. What ones stand out to you or have some special place in your heart for the in the hat
Uh,
making world?
it's difficult to choose. We have done so many large musicals. I really love the small plays as well, but I've written down some of the musicals that I've done, and that's Guys and Dolls, Cabaret I've done twice, Chicago twice, Singing in the Rain, Evita, Spring Awakening, Oliver Twist, West Side Story, La Cage aux Folles. That was wonderful. La Cage aux Folles was maybe the best show, I think. And Hair, Les Miserables, My Fair Lady, The Merry Widow. Yeah, lots
All of
of
them.
new. Yeah, yeah, and that's fun. I really like both doing the costumes and the hats. Um, and we also have a puppet theater in my theater. So sometimes I make really tiny hats, like
Love
for a
this.
finger. um, And sometimes I make hats that are really large. I made this really large troll head.
Oh, wow.
Um, and I really like it's so fun to find out how to make it stand. It has to be light for the actor to wear. It has to get air through it so it's not too hot. It was I made and I had to make the block first. So I made this block around a really large ball. It was 65 centimeters in diameter, like a I made it around like a yoga ball.
Yes.
This
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So then I made a fabric cover, and then I painted it with a paint that could stand the heat. And then I made a black fuss shape cover around because I found out that it was shrinking 15%. So, but the fuss shape itself couldn't hold the whole head. So then I had to glue plastic wires inside. So
Oh, cool.
all this, I love doing this type of work to find out how to do it, and but you need some time to do this. You can't do that in a week or in a couple of days at the end. This took some time, and then I eventually made a hat also for the troll, a
Oh,
summer
wow.
hat. So with a lot of different tasks we get in that's the fun part working with theater. It's a lot of different tasks.
And do you get to see some of your hats come back through the workroom for restoration?
Yeah, often they do. Well, not things like that, but we have a quite a good stock room with um, felt hats, old hats that I can reuse. We always make things or use things again. A lot of reuse. It is so yeah, and that's the same. I like to reuse old hats privately too.
Okay.
Find old felts and straw in charity shops and remake them. Then you can find really nice felts and straw.
Definitely. Do you make for your own private clients at home, or do you have a workspace of your own at home?
I have a workspace at home, a nice workspace in my basement where I make hats for clients, but it's mostly other theaters, TV companies, and films and shows. Sometimes I make for private persons too. Last year, I made a top hat for a guy. He sent a question to the Norwegian milliner and hat designers, and he asked if someone could make him a vegan top hat.
Interesting
and
challenge.
yeah, no one wanted to do it. He couldn't use uh, wool or silk or yeah, and it was yeah. So I actually made a black fuzz shape hat for him, and it turned out quite well.
That's a good
He
solution.
was happy with it. Yes, he was happy. I could make one with um, fabric on outside, but that would be very expensive. So, but it turned out well. I mean, black fuzz shape you can use for a lot of things. Mm.
Very versatile material, really. You mentioned about the connection with the other Norwegian milliners through the guild. How did
Yeah.
this collective come about, and what's your involvement with it?
Well, it started 25 years ago, actually. And it has been, well, we are 20 members, so we're not very many. And it's maybe just five of us who make hats regularly. We have exhibitions together. Um, that's really nice. I think that's maybe the what we what we do best to to get together and having exhibitions, and that's very good. I mean, showing people the hats, how beautiful it can be, how everything from like ordinary everyday hats to large hats. So we have had a lot of different exhibitions. We had one at the Technical Museum, a steampunk exhibition that was really fun, out of the comfort zone. And during COVID, we had this, we had outside, we had 10 places around in Oslo's center of Oslo that you could go and watch the hats. And we had a quiz that you could win a hat if you won the quiz. Yeah, that was really cool. That was a nice thing during COVID to, get people out seeing hats. And two of us are running the World Hat Walk for the 3 last years. That has been a really nice thing. I think there were 100 people coming the first year in 2024, and a little bit less in 25, and then again this year it was a lot of people coming. It was really nice. And last year we had also a pop-up exhibition in my theater, the same day as the Hat Walk, and a hat talk where we were talking about I was talking about men's hats. Stine was talking about theatrical hats, theater hats, and Gunn was talking about different types of materials. That was really nice, but it takes a lot of time to do this. But we're ready for next year.
There's lots of hat projects going on. What are some of the other fun hat-related projects you've been up to?
I think it's important to tell people about hats, hat making, the craft. I educate a lot. I've been teaching since 1991. I've taught a lot of both private and apprentices from the other theaters, and I've been teaching a lot. And I have a Facebook page that is called Ellen Thommessen Modist, and there I put out the millinery related things. And in 2019 I started doing a Christmas calendar, so I did that for 3 years. So I have 24 posts in 3 years, so 72 posts about hats. It's almost like a book. The first year I was telling about the craft, the different types of materials and tools and everything. I've been talking about different milliners, different hat types, historical hat. You're welcome to watch. It's maybe not everything is not correct, maybe the historical things. When you read about historical hats, it's different in all books I read. So, but I've tried to make it as right as possible. So that has been really fun. And then after 3 years, I just started to post it once more. So I posted it for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So maybe I have to make it this year.
That sounds like a good challenge for 2026.
Yes, actually, yeah. It does. I really like to teach. It's very nice when people know how to sew and know the basics, so you can go further on.
Do you do a lot of training as part of your role in the workroom?
I have been teaching in the theater for other apprentices in other theaters. They have come to me for a week or so then I've had between 1 and 6 apprentices coming, and wow. I have showed them felt, straw, and to cover a hat, or maybe to sew a paperboy cap, like the basics. But that's just for 1 week, but they know a little bit.
Yes.
I really like to make hats for theater because it's about helping the actors to find a role. It's not
Yes.
it's not like they don't have to be pretty, or they're not going to be themselves. They're going to be another one. You help them to be another person, and that is really nice by doing hats for theater. I think maybe it's easier than to make a hat a fashion hat because then you have a person who feels a lot. Well, the actors feels a lot too, but they are going to be another person, not themselves.
So true. So making hats for theatre is such a transformative experience. It's nearly like the skill is in realizing the design and then being part of that transformation.
And working with designers is very different because I'm working with different designers all the time. Some deliver a mood board. Some give us like really nice sketches with the seams on and everything. Some say this is just a drawing, you know best, and so it's a lot of different types of designers, and sometimes it's also stage designers who take the costume bit too because that's cheaper for the theater, and they don't know anything about costumes. They think it's just clothes. Everyone can do that, but well,
No, no, no.
no. So, but then we can design more.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge difference between a really good designer and a really not that good.
What makes a good designer in your eyes?
Oh, I think that's when you have a good, when we can discuss the things. They have an idea, they have good drawings, they know what they want, but then we can discuss the materials, and that they are open for ideas. That's the fun part when we can work together to get a really good result. I like that the best.
You're such an experienced maker, like background in sewing and textiles, and you've been developing your millinery skills for so many years. What's something you're still wanting to explore and find out more about?
This weekend, Joe Willis came to Oslo to have a class in straw braid, like historic hat in straw braid. So that was really nice. So I mean, I'm learning all the time, and it's so nice to see her work. And since I got to know her, it was amazing. We had this lovely evening talking hats in my studio, together with Stine, the milliner at the National Theater. It was wonderful. I mean, never stop learning. That's my yeah, that's important. Never stop learning.
What's a piece you're looking forward to making? What's on your workbench?
Well, right now I'm actually trying to make nice beanies because I'm going to lose my hair because of chemotherapy, and that's nice too because now I'm not feeling well all the time because this summer will be, yeah, because of breast cancer. I had to take it a little bit slow, but as soon as I'm feeling well, I walk down to my workroom making beanies or other hats, and I really want to try out my blocks. I think I have around 200 blocks, and I haven't tried them all, so that will be a good challenge, I think, this autumn to test my blocks. I think that's what I'm going to do now.
Well, we can't wait to see what you discover in your block collection and wish you all the best and can't wait
Thank
for
you.
the next hat stroll in Oslo to see all the wonderful pieces on display.
Thank you so much. It has been so lovely talking to you, and I really looking forward to all the other podcasts.
Thank you for joining me for this episode. It was so lovely to hear about Ellen's career so far, and we wish her all the best. Thank you so much to our Patreon podcast sponsors for their support: Hat Talk, Barcelona Hat Days, The Hat Magazine, Millinery Australia, Louise McDonald Milliner, Lifted Millinery, Hats by Leiko, Judith M. Millinery Supply House, Hatters Millinery Supplies, Hat Academy, Hat Blocks Australia, the Milliner Retreat School of Millinery, and Jennifer Hertz Millinery. I'm your host, Lauren Ritchie, and I look forward to joining you for another episode of Milliner Info soon.